Welcome to the Voice of Oneness, your call to awaken. This show is your call to awaken to the truth of your being through the teachings of the Voice of Oneness, spoken by Aumara. On this show, you will receive spiritual guidance and the teachings of oneness from the heart of spirit directly to your heart, along with the tools and techniques to apply these teachings to your day-to-day life. Tuning in each week, you will grow in a deeper, richer understanding of your true nature as teachings are offered about universal spiritual laws that govern our lives. You will learn the right use and application of these laws to achieve the richest life from the perspective of experiencing abundance in all areas of your life. Aumara is a renowned psychic, spiritual teacher, coach, energy healer, mystic, and gifted visionary who taps into the higher realms to join with the vast collective of source energy. Now, your host of Voice of Oneness, Aumara.
Good evening. Welcome, friends, to the Voice of Oneness, your call to awaken podcast here on WLTK-DB Talk Radio. And it's wonderful to have you joining with us this evening. We have a great show in store for you. Tonight's topic is recognizing and releasing resistance. So, recognizing resistance and releasing it is what we're going to be discussing, amongst other things. Any questions that come up? Before we begin, I want to remind everyone to please join in by putting your comments in the comment section. Let us know where you're listening from, what's on your mind, anything that you'd like to discuss that's of a spiritual nature. Be sure to drop a comment in the section, and I will do my best, I promise, to answer the comments. Sometimes we get rolling and the comments start going, and I have a difficult time trying to keep up, but I'll do my best, I promise. So, as always, I like to begin by by first stating the purpose of the podcast. And it's good that we understand our why in life, why we're doing what we're doing. We're doing an action and we're understanding the why behind it. That really gets the energy moving in the direction of the outcome of which we are choosing. So the purpose of this podcast is to provide the teachings of oneness. Now is the calling to awaken. We're feeling it inside, the calling to awaken. Everyone has within them the calling to move in the direction of oneness. Whether or not it's activated, whether or not we realize it, it's still there. And when we do come to recognize that there's a prompting inside of us that's calling us to move forward and to explore and to grow, then we can really tune in and tap into the information that's in resonance with our being. Because this is a course in remembrance. This is not new to anyone. And we all hold the knowing inside. We're just not tuned to it. And when we come across information and it feels good and we go, oh, yeah, I get it. That has resonance for me. I want to know more. It's because we're tapping into the remembrance of the information that you're holding. And it feels good and it feels right. And it just begins to expand. And that's what's taking place there. So it's the calling to awaken from the dream. And I said the dream is that which we're living, where we are not tapping into the oneness. We're not tapping into the truth of our nature, that who we are, but we're living our roles and we're believing that we are the role. We're believing I am, a mother, a wife, I am a school teacher, I am a minister, I am, and you fill in the blank. And that's my role and that's who I am. That is simply just the role. It's not who you are. You're a divine being of light. And we are coming to that awareness that we are so much more than we thought we were. And that's an awakening. That's opening up too, and realizing that we hold the potential inside of us of which is unlimited. We are not a limited source. We're unlimited. And tonight we're going to talk about what limits us in the form of resistance. So when we recognize resistance, then we could take the steps to release that resistance so that we're not limiting ourselves, so that we're open to possibilities, and we get to design our life the way we choose it to be, in accordance with understanding that that is all right, and that we hold that power, and that the potentials are always there to be recognized and to be unwrapped so that we can experience them in life. So our job here on the podcast is to assist with the remembering that the true nature of our being is love. We are love. We were created by love, as love, to experience love. And I always begin with the practice of calling into our conscious awareness that we live in a vibrational universe. What does that mean, living in a vibrational universe? We are to understand that everything in all of creation is energy, and that energy is always in motion. It's always moving. And in motion, it has a frequency to it, a charge to it. This energy is made manifest in our world in a myriad of forms. We are one. We are one of the forms. We are physical beings. We are spirit, first and foremost, inside of our physical body, expressing as the physical body, but we are not the physical body. The physical body is in a symbiotic relationship with us. The physical body is a partner, so to speak. That's my philosophy on it. It lets us know where we are in consciousness. It lets us know where our thoughts are. It lets us know what we are holding inside of us from our, what we can call the subconscious mind. Lets us know what our belief about ourselves is when we are not aware of what we're believing. So we are energy in motion. Energy never rests, comes into form and out of form. It's neither created nor destroyed. It's simply cycling through. Our thoughts are energy, of which is emitting a vibration. And that vibration we emit to the field around us, and then we receive back from the field the match to that vibration. Like vibration always and only will attract like vibration. And that's important to understand. And many times when we've heard something before, or we may have studied it before, we go, oh yeah, I know that, I know that, I know that. And I have to say, okay, if we know it, is it our experience in every moment of every day? And if when we ask ourselves that question, is this my life experience? And if the answer to the question is, oh, no, it's not, then I don't know it. Okay? There's understanding a concept, and then there's embodying it. We need to assimilate it into our being so it becomes one with us. And that is then the way in which we express our energy in the world. Then we can say, I have mastery over this. I know this. This is part of my being. It's no longer just a concept I've studied, but it's part of my being. And that is what we are experiencing here in our daily life. We're experiencing living the energy of that which we are. We're experiencing in so many different ways. We're expressing energy into the field, and we're receiving back energy. And it's a constant ebb and flow, a give and take, a give and take. And as we experience the energy, we then grow in understanding. And we learn, oh my, I've been experiencing things that don't feel good. I've decided I don't want to feel this way. I want to feel better. I want a better feeling. Well, what do I need to have a better feeling? As I've been studying and as I've been ex- building up in my toolbox of ways to work with the energy of which I am, is that changing my thoughts to express the energy in a new vibration so that I can experience differently. Then we step into a very powerful position. Then we say, okay, I'm going to change my thoughts. And this happens many times with people and many clients of mine. They'll decide they want something. We'll decide we want something. Okay, I want a new job. I want a new job. And the job is a position of greater responsibility than I may already have. And I really want it. When I think about it, I really want it. I really want it. And I start making these affirmations, and I can tape them to my screen of my computer, and I can tape them to the refrigerator and the bathroom mirror. And I can keep affirming every day that I am a perfect match for this job. This job is mine. And I can affirm and affirm and affirm. And then I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and I don't find myself in that job. And you say, oh, this doesn't work. You see, I don't create the reality of which I want. I'm not able to do it. It works for other people, but it doesn't work for me. And we say, let's look at the process, because affirming is one piece of a process. It's not the whole enchilada. It's not, we must also feel. We must feel and be in feeling resonance with the energy of that which we want. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, if I have a job and I'm doing a task and I really want, there's a position coming up for supervisor, and I really want to be the supervisor, and I've always wanted to be the supervisor, and I've been at this job for a long time, and I know that I'm qualified to be the supervisor. I'm qualified, okay? I know that I can do the job. I'm affirming I can do the job, but yet I'm not receiving the job. Then I have to say, okay, what am I believing about myself? I have to really examine what I'm believing, because in the subconscious, not the conscious mind, which is the 5% that we work with all day, every day, but the subconscious mind, that's the 95% of the energy. And there's belief inside the subconscious that is not congruent with my affirmations. My conscious mind believes that I am doing, and I am trying, and I really want this to be the effect, but I'm not experiencing it. It's because I need to drill down a little more and go, what am I really believing? So I had someone, a client, experiencing a health issue in their body. And as we're talking one afternoon, they're saying, I don't understand what's going on anymore. I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything you're teaching me. I've got my affirmations. I've got everything. And nothing's changing. I'm still experiencing this issue in my body. My body's holding water. I'm not happy with how I look. I'm not happy with how I feel. So I said, oh, okay. Well, now I said, take a piece of paper and draw a line down the center. And on one side, title it, what is? And we're going to start to fill out the what is side. And the what is what you're feeling about yourself in the moment. What are you feeling about yourself? I'm so happy to hear you say 5% versus the 95%. Deirdre, hello. Thank you. So on this sheet, when we're titling it, what is? So she goes, okay. And I said, well, how do you close your eyes and imagine yourself in the moment looking in the mirror at your body? What do you feel? And she's very unhappy. Okay, write it down. Very unhappy. Why are you unhappy? I don't like the way I look. My stomach's too big. Okay, write that down. Okay, now look again. Is there anything else there? Yeah, my rear end. I don't like my rear end. I don't like this body at all. I'm not comfortable in this body. Okay, I'm not comfortable in this body. I don't like what I'm seeing. Okay, we're writing that down. Then I say, okay, you've made some big changes in your life, really big changes. You moved to a whole new state. You've got a whole new thing going on, whole new experience of life. How do you feel about it? And she let's close your eyes, breathe in. And she's like, it's too big. It's too big. It's too big. Okay, write it down. It's too big. All right, close your eyes again. Breathe in. How do you feel? Scared. Weak. Okay, write it down. Scared and weak. All right. So we've got this list starting to unfold. Now this list, I say, read to me your list. So she starts to read. And I say, are the things on the list congruent with your affirmations? And she says, no. So I said, see how what you're feeling is not congruent with what you're saying you want. So therefore, it cannot be your experience. You are a feeling being. You must have your feeling aligned with the vibration of that which you are asking for. Because if you do not align, you have what we call resistance. There's a resistance there, a pushback that's not going to let you experience what it is you believe you want. So, oh my goodness, didn't realize that. Didn't realize, because truly from the heart of heart was trying so hard every day by doing the affirmations, sitting and meditating, praying, doing everything that she believed she needed to do to experience what she wanted. Now, in and of itself, if we really examine trying really hard, when we're trying really hard to make a change, we say we want to change, we're trying really hard to make that change. That trying really hard in and of itself is resistance energy. It's resistance. I'm trying to get something that I feel I don't have is resistance. It's in what we call lack vibration. So then you say, okay, Aumara, that makes no sense. How do we ever get anything better than what we have if we don't try? That's not what it's not saying don't try. It's saying when you're doing it, understand what you're doing. Understand where you are within your belief about yourself in the moment. When we want to have that job, we vision it in our mind. And we say, okay, let me see myself sitting at that desk. Let me see myself writing out maybe reports on what I need to do. Let me see myself having a meeting with those of which I am now responsible for because I am the supervisor. How does it feel? What words are coming out of my mouth? How do I feel conducting this meeting? Does it feel good? Does it feel like it's right for me? Do I feel comfortable in these shoes that I'm now in? And we have to be honest with ourselves. And sometimes, believe it or not, the answer that somebody will say is no, it doesn't feel right. I'm not feeling it. We say, okay, well, let's examine that. What is the resistance here? You're not feeling it. What's going on? And you say, well, I don't like standing up before people and speaking. You don't like standing up before people and speaking, but you're wanting to take a leadership role. You're wanting to be supervisor, and part of the job description is that you conduct these monthly meetings. Yes, that's part of the job description. Okay, so then we need to build a bridge between where you are and where you want to go. So then it's time to invest in yourself and perhaps take action in either a class or working with a group of people, maybe friends or family, that you stand up and you speak about a topic of which maybe you know nothing about, and you just have to stand up and speak. So you're not prepared. It's right off the cuff. You don't have a script. You're just speaking. so that you become more comfortable speaking in front of people. So you're building that bridge between where you are and where you want to go. And as you become more comfortable, now you've got the belief inside of you that I can do this. I can do this. How do I know? Because I've done it. I've been practicing. Maybe I've joined a local, what they call Toastmasters group, which Toastmasters is specifically for the purpose of learning how to public speak. And I've been working on that, and I feel better about getting up in front of people. And I can do this. I can do this. Now, all of a sudden, I'm getting closer and closer to that job. I'm no longer out of alignment with it. I'm now coming into alignment with it. And that's an example. I've got a lot of weight. I want to lose weight. I'll say, I'm always on a diet. I'm always on a diet. I'm always on a diet. And people will say, I've been on a diet all my life, practically. And we say, okay, what do you believe in about yourself? You're believing about yourself that you need to lose weight. Therefore, you're saying that I am not good as I am. I want things in my life, and they have to be on hold until I get to a certain number on a scale, and then I'll feel better about it. We say, that's not in vibration. It's not in alignment with what you say you want. So why do you want to be a certain weight? You say, because then I'll feel better. I'll be healthier. I'll be able to get around easier. I'll be able to walk up a flight of stairs without getting out of breath, whatever it may be, and say, okay, so what's behind that is the want to be healthy and feel good. Yes, that's what's behind that. You say, okay, well then that's the focus, not losing the weight. Let me approach this from a slightly different perspective. Let me approach this by taking the action that I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm learning about nutrition and foods that I put into my body so that I can achieve optimal health. And when you put your energy behind that, the outcome is going to be optimal health, and weight loss will be the byproduct. So I'm not trying to do this to lose weight because now I've got resistance. I've recognized the resistance, and I've released it. And now I'm ready to go. I'm ready to roll. And I can have now an effective change in my life, in my behavior, and in my physical form. That's an example too. That's releasing the resistance. So when we are wanting something and it's not coming about in our life, we have to say, okay, the want is there and that's great, but there's something in the way. And usually what's in the way is not something physical. It's a thought, a belief, an idea. That's what's standing in the way. And we've got to identify that and say, oh, okay, that's what's standing in the way. Now I can work with that. So the list of which I was referring to moments ago, the client, I said, okay, now look at that list. And let's ask yourself, let's begin with the very first item on that list and ask yourself, is this what I want to experience? Do I want to experience being unhappy with the reflection I see in the mirror? And the answer was no. And I say, so on the other side, you put, I choose. And then you write down, I choose to love myself and see the beauty of which I am. And then you close your eyes. And in your mind, either if you're able to see the picture of what you would look like to match that statement, or if you feel, if that's your stronger sense, and many of us are the feelers, you want to feel what it feels like to be that image. Oh, it feels so good to be in this body, this reflection in the mirror. I feel so good. So I've got the feeling inside of me. The feeling now is without resistance. I'm feeling it. I go on to the next item. And I say, okay, then one of the other items on that list was I felt weak. I feel weak. I feel that what I'm trying to do is too big, too great. And say, okay, well, what do you need to help you to feel powerful? What do you need so that you can approach this with the feeling inside of you that I can do this? What do you need? And she said, okay, I need to take it in steps. Okay, you need to take it in steps. Well, let's break it down into steps. And let's start visioning step one. Step one. And if we take the other example of needing to achieve a skill of public speaking, well, step one would be to enroll in Toastmasters. That would be step one. And then from there, now we go on to step two. Now I've got the skill. And when I think about myself in the job, when I start revisiting that vision, and I could see myself standing up in front of people with confidence. I have the strength. I'm standing tall. This is my position. And then you say, aha, I'm ready. I'm in alignment with it. Now I can apply. Now I'm a match. And I hold that vision in my mind. And that or something better comes to me, whether it's that job or it's another job in a supervisory position. Now I'm a match. So I've recognized and released the resistance. Last week on the call, there were several listeners asking about how to connect with loved ones who have crossed over to the other side, and wanting very much to communicate or to have a sign from a loved one. Now, when someone leaves their body, they leave the physical world, and they make their transition, they return to the unseen. So at the very beginning of the show, I said energy. We are all energy. Energy is in all of creation. It comes into form and out of form. It's neither created nor destroyed. It always is present. So when we leave this body, our spirit continues. We are life and only life. There is no death. There is transition. We transition from the form, but we remain very much alive. We are not dead. We are in spirit. We are without a body, but we still are consciousness. We have awareness. We can still communicate with those that are in form very easily when there's no resistance. When there's no resistance is key. Resistance comes in so many forms. So if I have lost a loved one, and I have, and if I think, okay, I really like to talk to my husband who made his transition many years ago, and I say, okay, I really want to. Oh, I wish he'll talk to me. Oh, I don't know if he'll talk to me. Oh, I'm going to try. The fact that I'm saying I'm going to try, and I hope that he talks to me, means that I've got resistance. I'm not in resonance with it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not visioning it. I'm not seeing it as happening now. I'm thinking maybe it will or maybe it won't, which means I'm not fully behind it. I've got resistance. So I've got resistance or I've got acceptance. The acceptance is opposite of resistance. Resistance is a force against, acceptance is open. So I want to be open. I want to open up the doors, so to speak, of my mind and say, this is my right. And this does exist. And now it's my experience. So I begin then closing my eyes. I breathe in. And I just bring the energy of the loved one that I want to communicate with to my mind. And perhaps I can see the vision or I just feel. And I feel that energy, and I bring a memory of having a dialogue with this individual, and I start talking. And I start talking to the individual, and I start experiencing. Now I'm open. I'm coming into alignment with it. There's no resistance. Now I'm open. Now I get to experience the energy of my loved one as they come to me in that moment, or as they send me signs, or whatever it may be. As long as I am open, now there's dialogue. I hope that makes sense. So we want to not resist. We want to be present in that energy. We want to be open. We want to place ourselves in the role right now in the present time. Not something I'm going to have, but something I have now. And I see it in my mind. I vision it as now. And the more I can do that, the stronger the energy becomes. It gains momentum. And then the experience, boom, there it is. And now I've got it. That's what we want to do. We want to recognize resistance, and we want to release resistance. So anytime we are not experiencing that which we believe we want to, and that which we are trying to affect a change, then we ask, okay, let me examine what my resistance is. Let me make that list in 2 columns. What am I believing right now? What is right now? And then I ask myself and I reflect within myself, what am I believing about me? And then the other side is what I choose to believe. So I can take myself and I can cross that line. And I like to use an analogy of it's a river. That line is a river. And we are on one bank of the river. And we want to get to the opposite side. We really want to be on the other side because there's much more to see and do over there. And I say, but I got to get across the water. So what would help me get across the water? And I think in my mind, oh, a boat. Okay. So as I am taking these action steps, I am building a boat. I'm constructing the boat until I've taken these steps, and I've done such a wonderful job in doing it that the boat exists right before my eyes, and I could step in the boat and sail across the river. Now I'm in alignment with the energy, and there's no resistance. And when there's no resistance, boom, the experience simply arrives. We can have anything that we are choosing when we are not in resistance to it. An example, a great example, and a very fun one, and I'm going to be very vulnerable here. I'm going to tell a story about a experience I had with a friend of mine. We were out driving around one day. My friend said, okay, let's go look at some open houses. And she goes, let's look at open houses for $1 million plus homes. And I looked at her and I go, whoa, wait a minute. You know, I'm in the market for a home. I'm looking in a price range, but $1 million plus is not my price range. That was too big of a leap for me. And she goes, wait a minute. Where's the law of attraction here? Where's the, you can have what you want. I said, yeah, you can, but you got to recognize there's a great deal of resistance to that. I'm not believing I could get that at this time. You've got to be believing it. So she drives up to the house and we pull up and she says, okay, come on, get out of the car. And I'm sitting there, I'm going, I'm having anxiety. I said, I've got a lot of things. My heart is racing out of my chest. I said, I am so incongruent with this action right now of going in this house and looking around at something that I believe I cannot have. And she was laughing, and this was an exercise that we did until I said, finally, she said, okay, let's breathe our way through this and say, yeah, you believe you can't have it in this moment. However, it is yours when you're ready. And I said, okay, I'll do that. I'll hold it in my mind that it's mine when I'm ready, but today is not the day of readiness. And we went inside and we had fun. And then we looked at a few more homes. So we got an idea of what was on the market. But it was so revealing to me, the example of when we are not congruent with the energy, what it feels like in our physical body. And that was an extreme because I felt it. And I don't usually get anxiety. I had anxiety. I mean, I felt it inside, the energy so much. Well, I'm very much highly empathic to begin with, but I felt like, oh my gosh, this is so big. I can't get a mortgage. I won't qualify for, $1.5 million mortgage, but it was fun. But that was just an example, a fun example. So we can use it as an example when we look at it on a grand scale and say, yeah, that makes sense. But what about the little things that are subtle that we don't realize? We don't realize that we're actually in a resistance pattern and that we're holding resistance to something we want. Whether it be weight loss, whether it be money, wealth, whether it be a relationship. Many times, many times, especially when I was doing a lot of psychic readings at a local center, a lot of the people that came in, both male and female, that what they really wanted to know about, what most people want to know about is, are they going to find love? Are they going to have a relationship? Is this person right for them? And I say, okay, when you're really, really wanting a relationship, once again, you're in resistance because all your energy is focused on the fact that you don't have one. It's not focused on experiencing yourself and the energy of you and appreciating that and understanding that how lovable you are and how much fun you are to be with. And how do you know that? Because you have fun every day. You live in joy and you are not out there seeking someone. And then all of a sudden someone shows up, boom, and you're a match. Because vibration is what matters. We must pay attention to vibration. We live in a vibrational universe. It's very friendly. Universe always has our back, but we don't always realize what we're doing, what direction we're headed in. It's okay to want a relationship, to want to be in a relationship, yes, but that's not what we want to focus on. We want to focus on the beauty of life. We want to focus on the things that bring us joy, the things that fill us with love. We want to focus on doing things for others. When we do things for others, we are in tune with love. When we are giving, we are in tune with love. The more we are in tune with love, the stronger the force of love is in our life. Therefore, it draws to it like energy. And then we find ourselves in a wonderful relationship. So we want to recognize what we are focusing on. Because when we're focusing on it, we're believing we don't have it. When we are believing that, we are in resistance. What we resist persists. This was defined for us by the famous psychologist Carl Jung, who coined that phrase, what you resist persists. And it grows because that's where your energy goes. That's what you're focused on. That's what you're feeding. And you're a creator being. We're all creator beings. We're always created. We don't have an on and off button. It's like, oh, I want to create something. Let me pop on the button, hit the button and create. We're always creating. We're creating in each and every moment we're creating. So we want to be aware of that. We want to be aware of where we are focusing, what we are putting our attention on, because it matters. Because that's what we're going to experience. So if we're putting the intention on ourself and we're believing ourself to be not strong enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, too old, too young, too skinny, too fat, too tall, too short, it means we're always two. We're always too something. Too something means I'm never enough. If I believe I'm never enough, then how am I going to get what it is I'm dreaming of? How am I going to experience the greatness of me if I'm not believing the greatness exists in me. Awakening is awakening to the greatness, awakening to the truth of that which we are, awakening to we are divine beings of love. We were created, we have sprung forth from the one mind, what we call the Godhead. We've come into existence to experience life as love. And we choose how we do that. And we each do it from our own unique expression. Every single one of us on the planet has a unique expression of energy. We may be doing the same action, but we're not expressing our energy in the same way. We have a different essence. We're unique emanations of the one. Here to experience ourselves as unique emanations of the one, understanding that we are all of the one. Experiencing life from the point of oneness, from the point of love. So therefore, as I am calling for the awakening, then let me open my eyes to myself. Let me see who is truly looking back at me in the mirror. And that's a scary thing for a lot of folks, because as we look in the mirror, we see a physical image. And we believe, ooh, we get a feeling, this is who I am. And we see an image perhaps that is aging. And that's scary, because that doesn't match where we are within our mental body. It doesn't match where we are within our heart. It's a physical body, a physical representation. So as we look in the mirror and we look and we stare, even if it feels uncomfortable, we still stay staring at the self. And we speak to the self lovingly. We speak to ourselves with the words that we'd like to hear someone else speak to us. We speak to ourself in kindness, with respect, openness, love. So we begin to take the steps to love ourselves so that we release resistance to experiencing the love of which we are. Now we're growing. Now we're moving in the right direction. Now we're experiencing change. Not from, I've got to change something because there's something wrong. It's no, I want to work with this energy because I want to feel the truth of my being. I want to feel the love of which I am seeking. For I am that. I am that love of which I am seeking. I just haven't realized it yet. I haven't realized it because I've allowed myself to be resistant to it. Because I've been believing in this physical world as being my truth. And this physical world is a representation of what we are holding inside of us, that we project out to the field, and then the field reflects it back to us. I hope that makes sense. It's time now for us to take a very brief station break, and I ask you to remain with me. There's much more to come. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. We are in the second half of the show. If there's anyone watching or listening in that has any change that you're working on that you would like some help with to identify resistance that you may have, just ask and I'd be happy to assist you. So just put it in the comment section, or anything else that you're questioning, any other thing that's going on for you. I'd be happy to address that as well. So please don't hold back. Let me know, and I'm here for you. So resistance, many times people resist resistance and they're like, I'm not resisting, but yet they're fighting against something. They say, well, I want to do something. I want to do something. I want to do something, but yet I never get around to doing it. But I want to do it. I say I want to do it, but I never get around to doing it, which means there's resistance. Because if there wasn't resistance, I'd be available right away to do it. So you have to say, okay, what am I resisting? Because as we do one thing in life, we do all things. So if I'm resisting in one area, there's no way I'm playing full out in other areas of my life. So which means I'm going to feel frustrated. I'm going to feel that I'm not hitting the mark, so to speak, that there's so much more for me to experience in life, but I'm just not getting there. I'm just not having that experience. So therefore, that results in I'm not feeling filled with joy. I may not be feeling happy. I may be feeling that I'm just going through the motions in life. I'm just living life, doing what I need to do. I'm just getting up. I'm going to work. I'm coming home. I'm going to sleep. And then the next day I'm doing the same thing. I'm not experiencing anything outside of that. Say, okay, if you're not experiencing anything outside of that, what are you feeling about life? What are you feeling? You could start with, what are you feeling about you? You can ask yourself, and I always like to close the eyes because the eyes close out the outside world, and take a nice deep breath in and just ask yourself, what am I feeling about me? Am I comfortable going out and doing something different? Am I comfortable trying something different? Or right away, the thought of trying something different brings up a feeling of, oh, uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. That's resistance. And say, okay, why don't I want to do something different? I say I want to take a class in painting. I've always wanted to paint, and now I have time in my life to do so. And there is a place in town of which I can go, but I never seem to be able to get there. Why am I holding myself back from it? What is my belief about me? Am I believing that I won't be any good at it and I don't want to find out? Because if I hold on to the dream that says, yeah, I want to do it and one day I will do it, then I don't have the finality of experiencing that I'm no good at it. Does that make sense? So I want to get into the game. I want to go for it. I want to try. And if as I'm trying, I find out, oh, well, I thought I would be better at this painting than I am. I really love colors and I really want to paint, but I'm trying in this class and I see that other people are better at it. You know, they're able to create with more ease than I am. I'm struggling here. Then you say, okay, what do I need? Where do I need? I want to build a bridge because I'm at one point and I want to be at another point. So I need, do I need to believe in myself? Do I need to believe that I have within me the potential? That's a good start. And say, okay, well, how can I exercise that potential? Well, maybe I need to come to painting class on a weekly basis. Maybe I need to take a class as a prerequisite to this class, something that gives me the beginner skills so that I am ready to grow. There's all different options here. It's not, we're here in this class, we can't do it this one time, therefore I'm no good. It's no, what do I need to become better? And then we step in and we start, that's living. We start expressing our energy and we're moving in the direction of. So when we're talking about resistance, we want to look at our thoughts. We want to look at our actions. We want to look at our ideas. because they're the indicators, they're the markers for us. Because once again, 95% of the energy of what's going on within us is in the subconscious. It's below the surface. It's not in your uppermost conscious mind. There's your to-do list. There's what I have to cook for dinner, what I have to get from the supermarket, what I have to do on my job to prepare for the next day's work. That's uppermost in our mind. What we believe about ourselves is not there. It's in the subconscious. We get keys, indicators of what we're holding as our belief based on what we're experiencing in life. If I'm in a job and the job is a grind, and I do not like going to this job day in and day out, but I'm not finding myself looking for another job, I've got to examine, where is the resistance? What am I believing about me that's keeping me in this job? That's keeping me day to day returning to a position of which I am not enjoying. Is it a belief inside of me, perhaps, that I'm not worthy of something better? Remember, I said, as we do one thing in life, we do all things. Am I also in a relationship that could use improvement? How am I living my life? Then I make that list. I take out a pen and paper, and I start to put the energy on the paper. And I ask myself, on one side, how am I feeling? What am I experiencing right now? How do I feel about me? And on the other side is I choose. So I choose is not going to be the same as what I'm feeling, because there's a change that needs to take place. But the line down the middle represents the resistance. Okay, I've got resistance. So I want to cross from one column to the other. So I've got to bring myself there. And I use that analogy once again of going to the other side of the river. You're standing on one side, you want to get to the other side, you've got to have a way to get there. Either you're a very strong swimmer or you have a boat. One way or another, you've got to get to the other shore. So if you're going to build the boat, you're going to build the boat by taking the action steps that work on releasing the resistance once you've identified it. If you need to become a stronger swimmer, then you're going to gain strength by taking the action steps, by flexing the muscles that you need to believe in yourself, to trust in you, to trust in you. You want to awaken. You want to come into greater knowing and understanding of that which you are in truth. It requires action. It requires that we engage with life. We're here in human form, spirit in human form, to experience life, to experience the love of which we are. If we are unhappy, if we are frustrated, if we are exhausted, that's indicators that we are way out of alignment with the true nature of our being. That doesn't mean that you say, okay, I quit this relationship, I quit this job, I'm just going to head to a cave somewhere and sit and meditate for the rest of my days. No, that's not what it means. It means that you're going to dig your heels in and you're going to say, okay, let me look at what I am believing. Let me identify the resistance. How do I do that? An example, many ways. One way given to you this night is to make that list and really ask yourself and feel into your body. What am I feeling? What am I feeling? What am I feeling? If I really wanted that 1 million plus home, and I was at a place that I was feeling that was not for me because I was not able to afford that, then if I really truly felt that I wanted it, then now I've got to set on what is the resistance? What am I believing in myself and my ability to create that's holding me back from the experience? I want to come into resonance with it. I want to come into the resonance with, yeah, there are unlimited ways in this life to make money. We believe in a very small portion of what's available to us. We believe most of the time that we have to get a job and do a certain action in order to receive what we need so that we can sort of carve out a nice life for ourselves. That's a belief, because there's unlimited resources available to any of us at any moment. We receive in direct proportion to what we believe. And that's why it's said, and it is the truth, if somebody's made millions of dollars in their life and they lose it all, they're not worried, because they know they can make it again, and they turn around and they do. They do simply because they believe. They believe that it's theirs. They believe that that's their right. They believe that they have what is required to do so, and they do. They've got it. Now, if we're not all looking to do the same things in life, we're not all looking to be the same position in life. We all have different likes and dislikes. We all have that which brings us joy and that which exhausts us. Ours is to really identify the joy-producing actions and stay within the joy. Find what gives us joy, what uplifts us, what feels good, and move in the direction of what feels good. And as we are in that direction, guess what? We don't have resistance. Therefore, our life then shifts, and all sorts of magnificent order arrives for us. People, positions, homes, moves to different locations, so many different experiences come into play when we release resistance. We resist that which we feel we are not a match for. It's our own doing. Nothing in life is ever held away from us. Nothing. None of us are better than any other one of us. We all have the same abundant life available to us. Where we are born, what we are born into, is where we begin. It doesn't dictate where we end. We get to choose in life. We get choices. Every moment is a choice. We choose what it is we are thinking. We choose when someone says something to us that's unkind, and we take it on and we believe it. That's our choice. It's not the fault of the one who said it. It's our choice to believe it. This is awakening. Awakening to the true nature of that which we are. We are power. We are beauty. We are love. We are unlimited in spirit. Our physical body may have some limitations to it. If we're born 6 feet tall, we certainly can't be 5 foot tall. We can't become shorter or taller. We're born with a particular body structure. That's what we have. That's not changeable. Those are our bones. That's our skeleton. That stays in place. But how we utilize the body that we have, that's our choosing. What we do with it. How we utilize the mind that we have, That's our choosing, what we do with it. There was a question that someone had asked years ago, and I printed that out. I wanted to share that tonight too. They asked, I would like to ask, what is the most relevant and important thing that I need to hear, do, or be to allow the greatest shift into being all that I can be, do, or have? What is the essence of my resistance? The response was, you have requested answers to questions that you have detailed. We wish to start by welcoming you to your process of self-discovery. We have heard your voice, and now we share our voice with you. If we may speak directly to your heart, this would be best. So allow these words to flow to you gently. There is no need to push or struggle to understand what is given. Simply let it flow. That means simply open. Be open. They're telling you, be open. The wall of fear. Open yourself up to allow yourself to be. You hold yourself behind a wall of fear of exposure. You seek to be free, but have not yet begun the process to set yourself free. The most relevant thing you need to do is to realize there is nothing you need to do, say, or be to make yourself into that which you seek. This is a simple truth that holds greater meaning than you understand at this time. But we say these words to your heart now to gently begin your process of awakening. What you need to do is uncover the meaning through the process of self-discovery. Instead of searching for the correct model to apply to yourself, realize that you hold the keys needed to unlock the door you hide behind. To do this requires you to go within, to reawaken to your true nature. This is, as we have said, a process to be taken one step at a time. Begin first by accepting that the power rests deep within the self. No one can give it to you or take it from you. There is no one to judge you but you. No one judges you but you. So practice allowing yourself to uncover the real you. Who's really there? What are you really all about? What do you really want? What do you like? What brings you joy? The essence of your resistance is the lack of belief in that you hold the power to make changes. You hold the power. You do seek them, and you are able to create change to your acceptable limit. Just like when I was looking at the homes, oh yeah, I could easily walk into that $500,000 home and say, yeah, I can do this. But put me at $1.5 million, oh boy, I've got anxiety now. And it's just money. Yes, money's energy, but it was bigger than I was in resonance with at that time. That's just, I use that just as a fun example. There is so much more we could say to you, but this will serve you for now. Keep your heart open and press on forward in your seeking to uncover your true being. We do hope these words rest within your heart and assist in the opening of this center to release the fear and replace it with love. You are so loved. This we wish you to realize. You are already beauty beyond words, as all are. Each is simply one realization away from their truth. We are complete for now. And that was the answer to the question. So she didn't need to become anything other than what she was. She believed she needed to be something different. What you needed was to realize how great she is, as she's a divine being of love. Remember, our attention goes where our energy flows, our attention goes. Where what we are attending to, there's where our energy is feeding. If it's something that you want and you are not experiencing that, then it's up to you to identify where the resistance lies. And once you do, then you can take the steps to release that resistance and to experience that which you are calling forth. It seems complicated, but it's actually very simple. Once we understand the dynamics of what's happening, we understand that we're holding in the subconscious mind the resistance to that which we believe in our conscious mind. We are doing everything that we need to receive. We always receive 100% in accordance with what we believe about ourself. What we believe about ourselves. Do I believe that I'm living in a world of which is in chaos and out of control? And that is something that I fear? Then that's going to be what I experience in my day-to-day life. Do I believe that I live in a world of which that which is untrue is now being exposed so that it can be identified and that we can choose to expand our consciousness, to open our hearts and mind, and to move forward in love? Then that's my experience. Depends on what we choose. We receive in direct proportion to what we believe. So as we come to a close tonight, there's something I wanted to read too. Let me just get to that. I want to end with this. Remember that you have within you all you'll ever need to experience success. What is required of you is the opening to this realization, coupled with the ability to allow yourself to be guided in new ways. As you freely release what has been and embrace what is unfolding. Here and now, you may create from the field of unlimited potentials, clearing a passage for you to rise in experiencing your truth. This is your task. You must seek to reveal the truth. You are to be a revealer of truth, not a subject of falsehoods. You're a revealer of truth, not a subject of falsehoods. Embrace your light and shine on. You are a star. And so it is. And with that, I thank you for tuning in tonight. I ask you to join me again next week. And if there's a topic that you would like to discuss, please send it to Aumara at askaumara.com. Aumara at askaumara.com. And I'd be happy to present the topic of your choosing. We're all in this together. We're on the game board of life, and we're taking it one step at a time. We're here to have the best experience that we can possibly have. And as we are experiencing life, and we are coming to new awarenesses. We want to make sure that we are reminding ourselves to look behind us and reach out our hand to those that are behind us that have yet to reach the awareness that we have, so we can lift up those that are available to be lifted. And as we look forward, we realize that there are hands reaching out to us, ready to lift us, as we are all in this together. All we need to do is be open, be open, be open. Thank you, and good night.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.